you go.
All right.
Cool.
Should I hand out a resume to you folks?
Sure, thank you.
Okay, all right, there you are. There you go, Alan. All right. And Veronica. Cheers.
All right. So, welcome to IRA Interview Day. So we're going to be asking you a series of questions. Please don't mind us. We'll be typing away. At the end, the last 5 minutes, they're going to be reserved for a tech-based question. I have a laptop for you right here in case you need it. And other than that, I think we can get started.
Sure.
Okay. So my first question for you is, tell me what you were doing before you're up, how you heard about the program, and essentially why you decided to join.
Okay, so before I joined Year Up, I was working full-time as a server at a restaurant and did gain a lot of really good experience in that industry, but I realized that wasn't for me. I was also DJing. I'm super passionate about music, especially electronic dance music. I knew that in order to move forward in finding a career in the music industry, I needed to have a solid tech and a solid tech foundation, and I needed to be proficient with technology. The problem was I didn't know how to do that, and I also didn't have the soft skills to move myself forward with a music-related job. So when I found out about Year Up through a friend of mine, she told me, "Jeremiah, what are you doing?" And I kind of gave her the same answer I just gave you, and she told me about the program and all the amazing things that Year Up offered. And when I found out that I could learn about technology and coding, operating systems, and I found out that I could sharpen my public speaking skills and learn how to build intercommunication skills, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me. So I jumped at it, and here I am.
Awesome, thank you.
So, Jeremiah, why do you want to work in tech?
I want to work in technology because I would love to work at a music streaming company like Spotify, SoundCloud, or anything related to music. And the reason why I want to work with technology is because I have such a solid, a passion in electronic dance music. And in order to be successful or in order to work at a music-related company, you need to have a solid understanding of technology. And that's why I want to eventually get into technology, so I can pursue a career in the music industry. And the music industry nowadays is very tech-based. So,
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
What was your biggest challenge or growth area during the learning and development phase? What did you do to overcome this challenge? And what would you do moving forward to plan ahead and make sure you're set up for success in internship?
Okay, so what was my biggest challenge, and how did I fix that challenge? And how am I going to use that in internship?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your plan to make sure that you're set up for success?
Awesome. So, coming into Year Up, I had never used a planner before. So I just never was taught how to use it, and so that brought its own set of problems. I did have a system. I pretty much wrote down all my deliverables, but I didn't have a solid system. And so what Year Up helped me do is my coaches, they engaged me, and they told me they gave me a planner. They told me how to use a planner, and they told me how to use a to-do list. And so when I used the planner and the to-do list, I really found that this was drastically improving my results at Year Up. All my homework was getting delivered on time, and I was doing it a lot more efficiently. And so I'm definitely going to be using this scenario not only in internship, but in the rest of my life. So using a planner, putting the planner into Outlook, making a to-do list, crossing off the to-do list, looking into the future, and making sure that all of my tasks have been completed. And I'm going to use that in all walks of life, including internship.
Awesome, thank you. So you've had a chance to review the different job descriptions, right? Could you tell me which one stood out to you the most, and why? Could you explain what do you think would make you a strong candidate for that position?
Okay. The job that really stood out to me was the project coordination role as a junior project manager. And the reason I thought that this was a good role for me was because I am a very big people person. I love working with people. I love seeing people's growth areas and their strengths. And I love figuring out tasks that would be good for them. So I'm really good at delegating, and I'm really good at facilitating. I love bringing people together and finding a common goal and helping everyone reach that goal. And I'm also really good at mediating. I love resolving conflicts. And I know that these are all traits that make a good project coordinator. So that is that's the track that I really want to go to. I really want to help companies achieve a technical goal and be in charge of that and facilitate it. Yeah.
All right, so Jeremiah, my scenario question for you is you have a remote manager who's always busy and difficult to reach. You have significant downtime on internship and not sure what to do. Walk us through an immediate and long-term plan to address this concern, and please be specific.
Okay. So I have a manager who's hard to get hold of, and a task needs to be completed. And how am I going to do that? So what I would do, this has happened to me in the past, where I've had a manager who is really hard to deal with, and the reason why is because certain people have ways of communicating that work for them and some ways that don't. And I found that texting a manager, since he wasn't around, wasn't the best form of communication. And so I knew that in order to figure out what needed to be done, I needed feedback and I needed guidance, but I wasn't getting the right communication from this person. So what I did was I started experimenting. I started calling him. When I did see him, in the very small chance or window opportunity that I did have, I tried to talk to him and really communicate what I needed. And so experimenting with finding the right ways that are good ways of communicating with that manager is a way that I would communicate better with him. And how else would I use that in internship? Was that the question, or?
The question's like, how would you address the concern of having significant downtime?
Okay. I obviously want to grow as much as possible, and if I don't have the proper workload that's pushing me to get outside of my comfort zone, I'm going to find a good way of communicating with him and tell him, listen, I completed the task that's already been assigned, and I really want to grow, and I really want to help the team out. So how can I help you? Is there any way that I could get a little bit of extra work? Is there anyone else that needs help? Or is there any other, delegation that needs to be done that can help our team? So I would communicate with that to him, whether it's through phone call or verbally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Europe is a very structured environment. What are you, as you move into internship, which will have far less structure and a lot more downtime, what do you plan to do to ensure you're successful in that environment?
Okay, so going into an unstructured environment, I would adopt the same structure that I have here at Europe. And even though I'm working in an unstructured environment, I would still act like I'm in a structured environment with high expectations. So let's say I am working at a tech company that really is very unstructured. I would go to I would make sure I'm there at 8:30 or at whatever time that they say that I start, and I will start from there, even though breaks are optional, or even though everyone breaks all the time. I would make sure that I complete all my assignments and all of my work during that period of time, and then I would think about, okay, well, Europe starts at 10:10. Europe has a break at 10:10, so I'll give myself a mental break from 10:10, do whatever needs to be done, get some fresh air, get right back into the grind. Right at 10:10, I'll get right back into the workspace, complete all my activities, write everything down, communicate with all my managers, do whatever needs to be done, and just continue like it is a structured environment, even though I'm in an unstructured environment.
And how would you tackle downtime?
How would I tackle downtime? I would treat it just the same way I do at Europe. I know that when I do have an assignment that's already been completed, I try to look back at my planner and look at assignments that are due ahead of time. Be like, like, oh, okay, well, I have an assignment due tomorrow. Even though I don't have anything due tonight, I can work on that right now and plan ahead and start prepping to complete the next assignment so I can get it done without having to procrastinate or without having to be stressed.
Thank you. Alright, so this next question is going to be a scenario, and kind of just walk me through how you feel you would tackle this scenario. Let's see here. So imagine you were organized or asked to organize a room with a lot of tech equipment, similar to this one. What tools or processes would you use to keep track of what's there and what gets taken out?
So what I would do, I would probably treat this as an inventory scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a good way for me to use, a good way to practice inventory would be by using Excel. So by doing that, I would probably make a table and just start taking inventory. Just start writing down the different things, like, oh, there's a server over here, there's a desktop over here. I would make a list of all of the different pieces of equipment that are in the room, and I believe the question is organize everything?
Yeah, so you were tasked to organize it.
Organize it,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I would probably organize it based on what is currently needed, or also what is most important. So I would try to organize it in a way that would, I guess, best suit the room in terms of where everything can be placed, so that there's like you can get to the actual pieces of equipment without like tripping or stuff like that, and also where it can be used most effectively. Like if there's a desktop, I would put that where on the top of the desktop with the monitor here. So that's how I would
Awesome.
take it.
Alright, and my question for you is, if you were completing a technical project with a group of 4 people, what role would you take on?
Okay, as a project manager, or as a trainee project manager, I love taking leadership roles, and I love taking initiative. So if I were one of the 4 people in the group, I would immediately see that this is a great opportunity to learn how to practice my facilitation skills. So I would immediately assume the role as the leader of the group. I would make sure that we have an agenda. I would make sure that we have clear goals that need to be accomplished, and I would figure out a plan of attack. And by creating all these things, it really will help us achieve the goal.
Awesome. So we're at the 5-minute mark here.